Here I found that there will be a live stream between Luca Lampariello and this guy. I will show this live stream here of Luca Lampariello and this other guy here. Live stream in English. I'm going to show you this live stream. Luca Lampariello and this guy Mairo Vergara. Luca Lampariello and this Mairo Vergara live stream. And look the comment here. Is he the best English teacher in Brazil? You must be joking or you have a wrong big picture of Brazilian teacher. I'm Argentinian and live here. Mr. Vergara is an advertisement and not a teacher. He's an advertisement and not a teacher. Look up for Denison de Lima. His English level is ridiculously good and moreover he has been English for decades. Brazil has excellent teacher and as a foreigner I can tell. Teaching English, your title is hoax. Ha ha ha. He don't like this guy Mairo. This one he don't like this guy Mairo. He say that he is not a real teacher. He's not a good teacher. He say that he's not a good teacher. And then he say there are some other teachers who are better than him. I will show you the live stream a little later here of Luca Lampariello. I will show you his live stream on his channel here. I will show you the live stream a little later. Then you will see what will happen on the live stream. We will see if he will block me on the live stream or what will happen. So the live stream of the scammer Luca Lampariello started almost 10 minutes ago. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here if this is a live stream. Let's see.
4 years, it's a reasonable amount of time to at least get a good grasp of the language, you know, at least develop the ability to communicate well, not perfectly, but well in the language. So yeah, you have to manage your expectations. Two, number one, you have to understand that you need to study
classroom, not only in the classroom. And I think one more thing is you have to be consistent, and a lot of people are just are not, you know. I think you have to study every day. It's not like, I'm going to study twice a week. And if you study twice a week, it might take you, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years to learn a language. So I think you have to do it, but you have to do it every day, like at least 1 hour a day, I think. And that's hard, you know, if you have like a family, you have kids, you work 9 to 5, it's not easy. And people, I don't know exactly why, but people think like, I think not only in Brazil, I think people see languages as something that, okay, I'm going to do this a couple of months and I'm done. They don't have this, it's not culturally embedded in our brains, you know, ingrained that languages really do take a lot of time to learn. You know, it's like learning to, I don't know, if you want to learn to play the guitar, you're not going to.
It should also be here on his channel. Let's see if there's more people here. I think there is more people watching here. So let's take a look here on this channel.
Energy levels, because it's not just about time. It's not about time. It's not about motivation. It's not about having the time and having the motivation. It's about finding the time. And not relying on willpower by designing your environment so that it's easy to start learning and it's easy to learn. These are pretty important concepts that I had never figured out before. I did it. Automatically. And then I figured out with my private students, because I'm a language coach, I ask them before anything, right? People come to me and say, hey, I want to learn
this language, right?
Yes, I want to learn French. I want to learn Spanish. And the first question I ask, and they want to know methods, but the first question I ask them is, how do you spend your day? How do you spend your time? How do you spend your energy? And that's the basics. How do you eat? How do you sleep? People say, what? Sleeping, eating,
sleeping makes a big difference.
You got to get the basics, like sleeping. To me, the basics really is sleeping well, eating well, and moving, like motion. If you got these three, then you have energy. And if you have energy, you can plan. And when you plan, you have energy and time to learn languages. For example, I always wake up relatively early, depending,
Mhm.
5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning. I do my stuff, my morning routine. And then I always do my language learning, and then that's done. You know, language learning done, and then I can get to the rest of the things, run the errands I have to run during the rest of the day.
Okay, nice, very nice. So you have a morning routine, and you said you do your morning routine and then your language learning. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm gonna elaborate.
What do you
love
do?
this.
Like I'm going off the questions here, but it's so interesting that I'm gonna ask you. You know, it's
So
like I'm learning here. It's not, you see.
it's cool. It's cool. I like sharing my routine. I'm all into. I really like this productivity thing, and I believe it makes a huge difference. So the very first thing that I do, apart from opening my eyes, is smiling and say, "It's gonna be a good day." That's the very first thing.
Do you
that,
actually do that in the morning?
Yes.
Like you wake up.
I wake up. I wake up in the morning. I open my eyes. I do this to myself, and I say, "It's gonna be a good day, no matter whether it rains or it's sunny." It's always sunny here in Rome, but I always do this. The second thing I do is I turn and I make my bed because it gives me discipline. There's even a very famous book by a Marine.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
A journal saying "make your bed" gives me structure. It's the very first thing that I do, and it gives me that kind of a little bit of dopamine saying, you know, you pat yourself on the back
I
saying,
did it.
You've done it, right? And then I have breakfast, then I write. This is called 5-minute journal, bullet point or journal, meaning that it's in reality it's not 5 minutes. It takes me, I think, around 15 minutes, where I carefully jot down a lot of my observations about the day, the previous day, so that I have some sort of brain dump where I put all my thoughts on paper before I do the next step, which is motivation. Because
what is the goal when you do the journal?
The goal is, I figured out that there's two main reasons. First, I used to do meditation before doing this, and I realized that my head was a whirlwind of thoughts that I could not control. So because the first thing, when I open my eyes, apart from saying it's going to be a good day, you inevitably have a lot of thoughts, things you have to do, stuff you have to, and so I've just realized that this 5-minute journal serves two purposes. First, it gives me clarity in the sense that I dump all these thoughts onto paper, so I don't I have to think about it. So my mind is more clear, and this allows me to do this meditation thing better. The meditation session that follows, that's the next step. And second, it gives me a very clear perspective of my life, because by jotting things down, I have the time to actually stop and think about the things that went well, things that did not go well, and things I can change. I've been writing over the last 30 years. I think I wrote more than 30,000
You have done that for 30 years, the journal?
Or 35, probably. I think I'm almost 41. I have
pretty impressive.
Piles and piles of pages. And I've been writing in multiple languages too. Now I mainly write it in Italian and in English. I have two journals. One is my personal, and the other one is with another person that we share thoughts to grow together, so to speak. So I think that writing is one of the best ways that has ever happened in my life. A lot of people don't do that, and I completely respect that. I understand. But to me, those 30 minutes that I spend every day, so it was supposed to be 5, but it's actually 30.
Actually 30.
Gives me a lot of structure and gives me direction in life. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. Those musings, those thoughts and observations to help me structure my life, shape it a little bit better, give it more direction, because I learn from my mistakes. Nelson Mandela used to say, I love these words, I never lose. I either win or I learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. And then you go to your language learning routine, right?
Not yet. I do meditation.
Meditation.
Then I do workout. Then I do workouts. So the workout in the morning. Now it's happening in the afternoon for organizational reasons, because I'm doing a 6-week live course. So my life is crazy right now. But in general, I do the workout. Then I take a shower. While I take a shower and dress, those 15 minutes are dedicated to Polish. I listen to if I don't have to wash my hair, with these
Okay,
nice
yeah, the earphones.
I can listen to stuff in Polish, which is the first kind of session, although it's not an intensive training session because Polish, I speak it well. So I'm not actively learning it. And then I sit down and I do Greek and Hungarian, which are the languages I'm actively learning. So I always do them between, let's say, 9 and 10, 9, 11, 30, depending on how much time I spend on each language. And then to me, the day can start doing this deep work session where I create courses, I do creative work, but just if we focus on language learning, that's where the real magic happens. It happens in the morning for 1 hour or 2 hours every single day. That's what makes a difference. I've thought about it. I've thought about what kind of person am I? What kind of chronotype am I? Am I a night owl? Do I like working at night? No. Do I like learning in the morning? Yes.
Yes.
So that's
so it's about 1 to 2 hours every day that you put into language learning.
Well,
actually sitting down and studying. That's what I'm saying.
It's a good, yes, this is a good observation. Sitting down and learning. I wouldn't call it, studying. I don't like the word studying because it reminds me of school, but yes, you're right. It's just sitting down and actively learning. I would say between, a lot of people think I spend hours and hours. I spend maybe between 1 hour and 2 hours, depending on the day. If the day is really hectic, I might even spend just 30 minutes, but it's always the big difference is that I do it every day. That's what counts. Yeah. And for personal reasons and circumstances and the fact that I'm a teacher, I tend to use a bunch of languages every day. So I learn some languages actively every day, but then I tend to speak 6 or 8 because of my personal circumstances.
Your coaching schedule.
Coaching, friends, etc., etc.
Cool. Now, you've talked about fluency, about time to learn a language, because I took my notes, and accents. So let me ask you, what's your personal definition of fluency? Because it's a very, different people have different definitions for fluency.
It's a tricky question. To me, I'll give you my own personal definition. Yeah. I'll give you my own personal definition of fluency. Fluency, I even wrote it on my blog. Now, I don't remember verbatim, don't remember exactly what I wrote, but more or less, to make a long story short, to me, fluency is the capacity of interacting in a meaningful way with native speakers. So to me, you're fluent when you're able, for example, to function. Let's say I'm in Poland and I'm able to talk to people. I'm able to interact not only with people asking for whatever, something quick in a shop. It's also about having conversations, sitting down and having conversations with friends, understanding what people tell you, what people are telling you or people are saying to you. But to me, fluent does not mean native-like. Some people think that there's some sort of line that you cross, and after that line, you're fluent.
I'm fluent.
You're either fluent or not fluent. You cross the line, you say, I'm fluent. To me, there's different shades of fluency because fluent is a very vague term that kind of describes the fuzzy spectrum of fluency. And, it's really fuzzy. You can't really, there's
it's a spectrum, right? It's not binary. That's what I mean.
It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum of sub-skills. Some people are good at some things, and some people are good at some other things. And some people are good at speaking in public. Some people are good at speaking in front of a pint with friends. So, but to me, given my experience, I believe that when I am fluent, I feel comfortable. I understand what people are telling me, 95%, not necessarily everything because it happens. So you don't understand something. And I'm able to get my point across without sweating and, without having a hard time finding words. That's to me, fluency. And I mean verbal fluency. Then we have fluency, that's another matter. But let's say with a spoken language, understanding and speaking, understanding, oral messages and conveying oral messages. That's what I mean.
What do you think is harder to learn? It's harder to learn to understand or to speak the language?
This is the first time someone has asked me a question like that. It's a pretty interesting thing. It's a pretty interesting question. I believe that both take a long time to develop, and they're both kind of complex skills because you have to listen to a lot of language before you start understanding, before your brain starts making out words in the long, word salad that gets out of people's mouths. So I do not know the answer in the sense that to me it takes a lot of time to develop both skills. In general, some people are better, for certain reasons, they're better at listening, and some other people are better at speaking. Just to give an example, some people are introverted. They don't, they have a hard time speaking even in their native language. Maybe for them, it's going to take longer.
Well, I think that's my case, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I don't like to speak and to practice speaking at all.
You're kind of shy when it comes to speaking?
Not shy, more introverted.
More introverted. Yeah, it's true. There's a difference between shy and introverted. You're right. I believe that they're both complex skills, but it depends on the person. Some people develop listening skills faster than others for personal reasons, and some people learn to speak better and with better pronunciation also for, I believe, psychological reasons.
Yes. Now, with that in mind, how long does it take to learn a language? I'm sure people ask you this question. Oh, how long is it going to take me to learn Russian?
Yeah. So the thing is, it depends on what you mean by learning a language. If you define to me what learning a language is, then we can start thinking in terms of, hours and months and years. But everybody has a different definition, like with the word fluency. What does it mean to learn a language? If you mean to speak a language fluently, so to be comfortable getting your point across and understanding,
like to be able to do an interview the way we're doing right now.
Right.
So I'm starting today from zero. I want to learn Russian with Luca. How long it will take me?
Okay, it's a good question. Well, it depends on a number of objective factors and subjective factors. Let's start with the objective factors. The first thing is the distance between your native language and your target language. So let's say that you're Ukrainian. If you're Ukrainian or Polish and you're learning Russian, that's not as difficult as it would be for a non-Slavic person. So say an Italian or an American learning Russian, for them, the language distance, I don't think in terms of difficulty, meaning that
distance makes
there's complex systems that you can, compare in terms of linguistic distance. As I was saying, I would say that first you have to define what your native language is. Let's say that for a person who has no experience whatsoever with Slavic languages, I'll give you the extremes of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So let's consider a person who has no experience in second language acquisition, that who has never learned a Slavic language, who speaks either Italian or English or some other European language that is not Slavic, that doesn't have the opportunity of traveling or having contact with Russians, then I would say that it might take up to 3 to 5 years to speak a language fluently, according to my definition. And we're talking about the let's say the most unfortunate scenario. For someone, on the other hand, who maybe is, say, Ukrainian, speaks a Slavic language, has some experience, or they're motivated, they have experience in language learning, and they learn every day, so they know how to learn. I think it might take them up to 9 months, 6 to 9 months to start speaking rather comfortably in Russian. So we're talking, for each language, you can consider a number of options, and it's not an exact science, but I can tell you more or less a range. So months for an experienced learner who is learning a close language, years for a non-experienced learner who's learning a distant language, and then everything in between,
Cool. Like a Brazilian learning Spanish. It would be faster than trying to learn Russian, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about accents, because you're pretty good at accents. And I have 2 questions. First, is there a difference between pronunciation and accent? And second question, do you think there's people that have a natural tendency with accents? They're better at mimicking and pronouncing the sounds and sounding like a native speaker? Because in my opinion, it's like I have a hard time with accents. I'm not able to mimic. I'm not able to sing. I think there's a relation between musical talent and accents. I cannot sing in tune. I have no rhythm at all. So I don't know. I have this impression that accent, not learning wise, I think I agree with you. I think everyone is able, our brains are kind of programmed to learn a language, and everyone can do it. But when it comes to accents, I don't know. I'm still not sure if everyone can do it. So what's your take on that?
Well, first of all, I think you have an excellent accent in English. So that's the first thing I
Or
wanted to say.
pronunciation. Okay, yeah. Let's go accent or pronunciation. Because I think I have a good pronunciation, but not a very good accent, you know.
Okay, let's put it this way. To me, pronunciation, accent, intonation, you know, these are terms that we have to, I think, if we wanted to use them appropriately, you know, we have a lot of books of linguistics and phonetics that talk about that. But I would say that in general, all these terms are under the general umbrella of phonetics. Phonetics is the part of linguistics, and in general, the part that you know, relates and deals with the sound structure of a language. Pronunciation is a technical term that has to do with how we mechanically produce the sounds, and in particular, the sound inventory of a language. While accent is more like a kind of a social marker. Let me give you an example. You have the pronunciation of the American English. You have American English standard pronunciation, and then you have different accents within that pronunciation system. Okay. So you have the Texan accent, you have the New York accent. So, or in Brazil, I'm pretty sure you have a general Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation, and then you have the accent from the north, from Sao Paulo, you know, same thing in Italy. So accent is like more like a social marker. When we say you have a good accent, in reality, it's better to say you have good pronunciation. And in general, pronunciation is also a very specific term. In reality, we should say you have a good phonetics, but it would sound weird. Someone goes to you and say, "Hey, you have good phonetics." You say, "What? What do you?" Phonetics. Yeah. So it's a way that the terms are used. But in general, pronunciation is the way we articulate sounds. Accent is more like the kind of social, you know, accent. You can see accent as a social marker, sense that, like in Brazil, I'm pretty sure you can hear the accent of a person. You can tell where they're from. So geographically, the social status, if a person has a very thick accent, you can tell if people are educated or not. You can tell whether it belongs to a certain tribe, so to speak, within the society. In New York, you have a specific accent from Queens, another accent from, you know, Russians that live in a specific part of New York. So it's a very complex issue, but in general, I would distinguish accent and pronunciation. I would say you have a good pronunciation, or you can say, oh, you have a very thick Texan accent. So in that case, pronunciation is more like how accurately you pronounce the sounds of a given language, considering that there's a standard, but it's really difficult to nail exactly the standard accent of a standard American accent, or whatever you want to call it. And as I said, accent is more like a geographical social marker, so to speak. So if you have a great accent, it means that, to me, you have identified, especially for a foreigner, when someone comes to you and says, "Oh, Mario, you got a very cool New York accent," it means that you probably identified yourself. You listened to it, you got exposed to that accent, and you wanted to blend in that specific environment. Which brings us to the next topic that you brought about, that you were asking me if and I wanted to ask you in my own channel for the interview. Yes. Same question. If you believe that there are people who are more talented or not in terms of mimicking and in terms of listening. You know, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, do you have the perfect pitch?" And I say, "What do you mean the perfect pitch?" "Oh, you have the perfect pitch," meaning you can tell, you know, musical notes, you can do this. Yeah. I believe that the ear, the two beautiful ears we have, are just channels through which the sound gets in, and what counts is not the ear, is the brain, first of all. The brain. The second thing is that, and this is still the linguist Stephen Krashen who says that, I recently found an article. I've been thinking about this for a long time because I'm also an accent, or better, pronunciation coach, and I've been helping people get their, you know, help them to improve their pronunciation. And Stephen Krashen, when I read this article, which is called something along the lines of a conjecture about accent or pronunciation in second language acquisition, he said something that really struck me. And he said, it's not that we're not adults, we adults are not good at speaking languages with a good pronunciation. It's just that we choose not to.
We choose not to do it.
We choose not to. So this brought me back immediately when I was reading the page, and I thought, oh, maybe this guy is right. I thought back.
That makes a lot of sense.
Back in the day, when I was trying to speak, when I was learning American English, because I had been learning English for 2 years of school, to no avail, I might add, and it was difficult. And then this American tutor, whom my parents had hired, started working with me. I started speaking more with a nasal American accent. This is probably from the Midwest, because she was from the Midwest. My friends, or my schoolmates, were starting to make fun of me, and they were going like, yeah, 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 like literally like this, because to them, this nasal sounding thing was not in tune with the way I was speaking. So Stephen Krashen says, basically, at least this is my interpretation of what he says, is that we choose not to sound differently from what we sound in our own native language, because we, like, mammals, belong to a certain tribe that speaks in a certain way, and it's difficult for us, for biological reasons, evolutionary biology. We don't want to sound, or we are forcing ourselves to sound in a way that is the way of the other tribe. So it's not that we have a bad ear, it's more like a psychological factor.
Psychological thing.
And I believe that that's the most important factor. And in fact, Stephen Krashen says,
practice for 6 months and, be really good. You're going to have the basics, but it's going to take you more. So languages are more, they're similar to learning a sport or learning how to play a musical instrument. They're not something like a sort of an intellectual thing that it's not like learning history, for example.
Yeah. It's a skill. It's a skill you develop. And it's really interesting what you said, that we have this mentality or this mindset. Most of us, they think, oh, just going to do something for a couple of months or 6 months, and we think it's just going to stick. It's ain't going to cut it, as they say.
Yeah.
I want to ask you 2 questions. I was taking, jotting down things and questions to add. So you said that you were saying, and justly so, that it's important to learn every day, to be consistent, to get exposed to the language, to learn outside of the class. Is that what you've done? How have you learned English so well? Did you struggle at the beginning, or? And the second thing I want to ask you, which is connected, is what is it that does not work within the school system in Brazil? I'm speaking specifically in Brazil, but this is a problem that stretches all over. It's a global problem. So these 2 questions: how did you learn English? What did you do? And what do you think is wrong with the school system?
Okay, I learned English. It's really interesting because back in the day, I used to study Japanese, like back in 2004, before I knew English. I knew how to speak English. So I started studying Japanese, and it was so hard. Like Japanese was, it was so hard. I studied Japanese for 2 to 3 years, got to a basic to maybe intermediate level. And kind of at the same time, I was learning English. But in comparison, like English was just so much easier, It was like I learned English mainly through reading and listening, just doing that. I'm the proof of the, what is it called? The input hypothesis by Krashen. Right? Because I was just reading a lot, listening a lot, doing a lot of reading websites, playing video games, watching TV shows, YouTube videos, whatever, right? Was just listening and reading. And after, I know, a couple of years reading and listening a lot in English, I kind of naturally became able to communicate in the language because I was able to understand everything that people were saying, So I remember I was the first time because I was afraid of speaking at the beginning. I was able to understand everybody, but I have this, like, I was afraid of speaking because I thought that my pronunciation was not good, that I would make a lot of grammar mistakes and whatever. But I remember once a girl from the Philippines. I was in a room, and this girl comes in, and she speaks English, and she says to me, she goes like, "Oh, do you speak English?" I don't even remember. She talked to me in English, and I said, "Oh, I can speak English if you can understand me." That was the exact phrase. I can speak English if you can understand me. And the reason why I said if you can understand me was because I was afraid that she was not going to understand me. And she said, "Well, I can understand you pretty well, no problem." And from that moment on, I realized, oh my God, I understand English. I can communicate. I'm kind of fluent in the language. That was back in 2000. I don't know, 2006, I think. But with Jap, so yeah, English was kind of reading, listening, and then I became able to communicate. But with Japanese was so hard. I was not able to do it. I was not able like to watch TV in Japanese. I was not able to read books in Japanese. You know, I was able to communicate a little bit, but especially understanding was a huge problem. And then I started. I don't even remember your question. What was your question?
The question was, it's so right. We had
Because I
two
talk
questions.
a lot.
You know, maybe I should ask one question at a time. It's my fault. I asked you this question about the English. How do you learn English? And then another question about the Brazilian school system and why doesn't it work. But maybe you can tell me about the Brazilian school, and then we can talk about Japanese, because I wanted to share some observations about Japanese myself. Why doesn't it work? Why do people like have a hard time learning languages at school?
Okay, it's I think because they don't understand what I was previously talking, that you need to learn the language outside the classroom. So when you like teachers in Brazil, most teachers, most private courses, they don't teach you that you have to spend a lot of time outside the classroom. They say, oh, maybe watch a movie here and there, trying to complement your studies, but it's not actively something that they really try to teach the students and prioritize. You have to spend more time outside the classroom. And second, I think they don't realize how you learn a language, most teachers, because a lot of teachers in Brazil, I'm being I'm being honest here, because had I not struggled with Japanese, I wouldn't know how the real difficulty of learning a language, because English is not that hard to learn. Of course, a lot of people struggle to learn English, but it's not that. I don't know. I think English, when you compare with other languages like Russian, German, Chinese, Japanese, English is not that hard. And if you try to learn, if you learn only English, especially a lot of people, they learn English because they studied since a very young age. They learn English because they lived in the US for 10 years, like my kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Both are learning English. They can speak in English already. But they don't know how to learn languages. When they grow up, if they want to know about the science of language learning, they have to try to learn a different language. So that's why I say it was through Japanese and struggling with Japanese that I really learned how to learn a language and learn English, and try to share. Nowadays, I try to share this knowledge with people that follow me. And I think people don't realize that, teachers, especially teachers, don't realize that don't study the science of language learning. So I think one of the best things that teachers can do to improve their teaching skills is to learn a different language other than English. Like try to learn French. I've been learning French for about 2 years. So try to learn French, try to learn German, Russian, Japanese, any language, and try to do it in a way like a lot of people, they teach in a way, but they've learned in a different way. So they learn because they moved to the US, but they teach like grammar stuff and grammar-centered approaches and stuff. So try to learn a foreign language the same way your students are learning the language, and then you're going to struggle. You're going to put yourself in their shoes, and you're going to feel, what is it like to try to learn this, French language? It's so hard, and I think that's going to make you a better teacher.
Excellent. I agree with everything you said. I also believe that if you learn a language yourself, then you're gonna see inside out how it works. For example, if you're an English teacher who just knows English, doesn't know other languages, you can still be an excellent English teacher, and mine was. But in general, I think it adds to the whole experience and the expertise if you learn a language yourself, a second language yourself. and you experiment, because by experimenting, by stumbling, by failing and falling, you learn, and you're able at least to indicate the way, to pave the way, so to speak. And
Yeah,
say,
with
look,
sorry, with French, for example, like 2 years ago, I wasn't able to read in French. Now I can read in French. So I was, I went through the same journey as my students when it comes to reading. Like listening, I'm still developing my listening skills. They're kind of, I think my reading is pretty good in French. Listening, it's good enough. Speaking, not that good because I don't practice that much. But the thing is, as I was saying, I'm going through this journey, which is exactly the same journey as my students have to go with English.
Makes sense. Going back to Japanese, because I was curious. So what happened? So what happened with Japanese? Did you go back to it, or do you speak it now, or you just said, I give up?
I forgot it all. I studied I forgot like everything about Japanese.
Oh, you forgot
because I haven't studied in 15 years, I think. But back in the day, I studied Japanese for 2 to 3 years, and I went to Japan for 1 year. I did an exchange program. And when I went to Japan, I thought, when you go to the country, what happens? You become super fluent. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. But that didn't happen because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what, I was really young. I was 22, I think. I'm 38 now. But it was a good lesson, I went to Japan, didn't become fluent, struggled a lot. And when I started studying and doing research on language learning. And when I got back to Brazil, I had to find a job, after my graduation. And I had to decide between working with Japanese or English. And the market for Japanese was not that great in Brazil. And I decided to start.
Okay, the chat now is not updating. I don't know if they block me or no. I'm not sure if they block me. I think they did not block me, but I'm not sure. But there's no updating. My comment is the last comment, and there's no comment after my comment yet. I'll see if there come more comments or not. I'm not sure if they block me, but if they block me normally, there will come a message. If they block me normally, there will come some message that I got blocked or time out or something. So I'm not sure if he blocked me, or maybe no people are writing now. Maybe no people are writing now. I don't know. Also, it says there's only 22 person. It says only 22 person. And my message is the last message already 3 minutes ago. My comment is the last comment 3 minutes ago. No new comments. And only 20 people online.
To Japan and try the learn Japanese country approach, and let's see what happens. Okay, so more specifically, since you've been working as an English teacher, how do you let's break it down. I had 3 specific questions about pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. So let's talk about vocabulary. What do you suggest? What are your tips, or let's put it this way: what are the main struggles that people have with learning and memorizing vocabulary? What do you think they do wrong, and what's your recipe for learning and memorizing tons of words, expressions, collocations, and whatnot? That's the first question.
Vocabulary. I think it's pretty simple. I think people don't read enough, and that's it. No, let me elaborate. Okay, I think vocabulary is a matter of reading. You have to read a lot. In the beginning, you can study. I don't know how to read. How can I start reading if I don't know how to read? You can start with short texts, use bidirectional translation, your technique. You can do anything in the beginning. Short text, start reading small snippets of texts in the language you want.
And work from that, then you can read.
Okay, I think he blocked me. You can see the text now is gray color. The text of my comment now is gray color, and there's some red line on the left side of my logo. Left side of my channel logo, there's a red color, and also that text I sent now is gray color. So I think he blocked me. Luca Lampariello blocked me because he don't want people to know that he is a scammer and a liar. He blocked me because he don't want people to know that he's a scammer and liar. He blocked me because he don't want people to know that he's a scammer and liar. Let's try to see the other guy if he blocked me or not yet. You can see he blocked me there from the channel. Look. Now the live chat is out and it's not there. Look. He blocked me from the channel. The scammer blocked me from his channel. From the live stream, he blocked me, the scammer. Let's try to see the other channel. He blocked me because I tell the truth. I tell the truth, that's why he blocked me, this scammer. I tell the truth, that's why he blocked me, the scammer. The scammer blocked me because I tell the truth. Let's see this channel, if I can write there some comments or no. I cannot write comments now. I'm not sure if he blocked me or if the live stream finished, but I think the live stream did not finish yet. I'm not sure. Maybe the live stream finished already or no. I think it's not finished yet. Or maybe it finished because it says 49 minutes ago, so I think it's finished. Also, I'm not 100% sure if it's a real live stream. Because how did Luca Lampariello and the other guy send some message? How did Luca Lampariello and this Mairo guy, how did they send comment the same time? I'm not sure if it was really live or if it was, I don't know how they can, if it's possible to make it live even if it's not live. Because how could they send comments the same time? I'm not sure if they blocked me or what happened or if it finished the live stream there. So that's it. But I think Luca Lampariello blocked me because there was some red color, like he blocked me. And this guy, he's working with the scammer. This guy is helping the scammer. This guy is helping Luca Lampariello, the scammer. This guy, Mairo Vergara. This Mairo Vergara, he's helping Luca Lampariello. He's working together with Luca Lampariello, the scammer. It means that he is also a scammer. He's helping the scammer, so he's also a scammer or helping the scammer to get more viewers. But he already have more subscribers than Luca Lampariello. Like he have more subscribers and more viewers than Luca Lampariello. So I don't think he do it for the subscribers or viewers, or maybe he want even more. Maybe he want even more subscribers or viewers, but he have already more subscribers and viewers than Luca Lampariello. But he's supporting the scammer. He is helping the scammer, Luca Lampariello. Let's just go to Luca Lampariello's channel here as the last thing. But looks like there's still some comment there. There's still some comment there. I don't know if he blocked me. I'm not sure if he blocked me because there's some people writing some comments now. Look, there's some comments there now. I'm not sure if it finished the live stream or if he blocked me also. So that's it. The scammer Luca Lampariello making a live stream, and then he was speaking English the whole live stream. He's speaking with a guy from Brazil. He's speaking with a guy from Brazil who can speak Portuguese, and then he's speaking English the whole live stream. He's speaking with a guy from Brazil, but he's speaking English the whole live stream. Luca Lampariello say that he can speak Portuguese, but the whole live stream he's speaking English. Luca Lampariello say that he can speak Portuguese, but the whole live stream he's speaking English with the Brazilian YouTuber. Luca Lampariello say that he can speak Portuguese, and this Brazilian YouTuber can speak Portuguese, but the whole live stream is in English. And I think he blocked me when I tell the truth that he's a scammer and liar. When I say the truth that he's a scammer and liar and editing his videos and making fake edited videos, then he blocked me, this fake scammer shit, Luca Lampariello. And also on the live stream, you could see Luca Lampariello, he was sending messages on the live stream. How can he send message same time he's talking? How can he send message same time he's speaking in the live stream? I think someone else was sending the messages, and also he sent messages in English and Portuguese, and I think also in German and some other language. He sent some comments, he makes some comments on the live stream in many different language, Luca Lampariello. And I'm thinking, how can he have time to make all those comments? How did he have time to make all those comments same time he's speaking? I think someone else was writing the comments. I think someone was using Google Translate and writing the comments for him, because I don't think he had time to speak. I don't think he had time to send messages same time he's speaking. I don't think that he had time to send messages or comments the same time he's speaking. I think there's another person working with him who was sending the comments, because on the live stream you would have noticed that there was Luca Lampariello was sending many comments. On the live stream you would notice that Luca Lampariello was sending many comments and in different language. How can he do that same time he's speaking? How can he send many comments and many different language same time he's speaking? I think it was someone else who was sending the comment. I think someone else had access to his account that he could send the comments. And if it was Luca Lampariello, then he was also just using Google Translate. If it was Luca Lampariello, then he was also using Google Translate. But I think it was another person. I think someone working with Luca Lampariello was sending the comments on the live stream in different language. Look here, after the live stream finished. After the live stream finished, I see this comment here. Someone write, why not in Portuguese with English subtitles if you both are supposed to converse in Portuguese? Someone asking him why they did not speak Portuguese in the live stream if both of them can speak Portuguese. Someone asked him here in the comment why Luca Lampariello and the other guy was not speaking together in Portuguese if both of them can speak Portuguese. Because Luca Lampariello cannot speak Portuguese, that's why he did not speak Portuguese on the live stream. He's just fake liar and scammer. Luca Lampariello can only speak one language fluently, that's English. That's why the whole live stream was in English, because Luca Lampariello can only speak English. He's just some fake liar and scammer, this Luca Lampariello. That's why he did not speak Portuguese on the live stream, because he cannot speak Portuguese.